I mean, 40 years ago, yeah, it's it's nice that people are talking about it. Obviously, as a Fulham player and Fulham fan, you kind of like hope that there's other things that have happened since, obviously Europa, but it's you can't believe it's 40 years, and looking behind here and seeing these young lads running around, and we used to do the same, but it was slightly different. We had loads of mud on our feet, and there was no green stuff to play on, and played in parks wherever we could get training. That's how it was in those days. This is fantastic, and lovely time. 40 years ago, great memories, and when I see these guys, the old ones over here, they're a bit older than me, all of these, just kind of, it's a nice feeling.
I see the players often, and we all reminisce about the game. Not the cup final, of course, which I never played in, and I do tell them that if I'd have played, we'd have won. And Alan Taylor wouldn't have scored 2 goals, and Tony Gale loves to say, "You're right, he would have scored 4." Great to see the lads, and it's a great cup run. 11 games to get there. We never won at home. Every game we won was away from home eventually, but a great team and some good characters. Yeah.
What a year! What a journey for all of us. I don't know whether you're aware of the fact that it was the longest cup run to get to Wembley. I think it was 11 games to get to Wembley. It was the longest in history, and in fact it'll never be equalled now because of the changes in the game, not playing all the replays. So actually in the history books for that, so that's something. As far as the season itself, for me it was all about what a tremendous team spirit we had at the club at that time, and particularly that season.
Well, I was only the assistant coach, but was quite involved because quite a few of them had come through from the reserve side, so I had quite an input in that respect. But as players, we had 2 or 3 top senior players who really looked after Les and John Mitchell and people like that, and they were just a great bunch of lads and a great time of life for everybody. I've been involved with about 10 football clubs, and this is probably the only one I ever go back to. So, they, as people, are really top people.
I can remember we played at Sunderland before the cup had started, and I was up there, and Alec and I went to the middle of the pitch, Alec Stock, and Bob Stoker came out, and they'd been to Wembley, I think it was the year before or 2 years before, and Alec was saying he was a lovely man and spoke very nicely, and he said to Bob, "I've got a feeling, Bob, that we could go all the way this year." And I just looked at Alec and I thought, he must be drunk. So I don't think we've got a chance of going to Wembley, but he was right. But the boys were magnificent. Peter Mullane goal saved us, I think it was at Carlisle, when he kept us in the game, which was tremendous. Les Bullock, I remember, was exceptionally good on that day. And of course you had the old stalwarts of Bobby Moore and Alan Mallory, who were both great for the club at the time.
Games came thick and fast. I think one week we played 3 or 4 games. I think we played Notts Forest on the Monday, then the Wednesday, and then we went up to Everton on the Saturday. And obviously we played on the Saturday before, so we played 4 games in 7 days. But they came thick and fast, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful time for the club.
2 memories really. The 5th round away to Everton. They were top of the First Division Premiership now. We were given no chance whatsoever, and we went there and outplayed them really, and that was our best result, I feel. And of course the first semi-final, 55,000 people, and we played really well that day. I thought we'd blown it because I don't think we could have played any better, but John Mitchell came in with a last second goal in the replay and got us to Wembley.
Basically, probably worst goal I scored for the club, the most important one, got us to Wembley, and probably one of the best goals I scored in the first game. So 2 contrasts. Great goal, didn't quite get us there, we drew, went to replay, couldn't do it better. 9 seconds to go, extra time, injury time and extra time, and you score a goal. We know we're at Wembley, and it was like, Fulham at Wembley, it's like dream for all of us. Shame we didn't close it out, but we give it a go.
The run was, I think the memory of it was so enjoyable, because apart from the league games and everything else, you're in a cup run, and we had all the matches against Notts Forest and that, it was so nice to get away from the league games and everything and play in the cup games. As it went on, and we were winning and getting through the next round, we were playing against teams like Everton and like the semi-final with the crowds were fantastic. That it was fantastic as a player to come out to crowds like that. It was so exciting, and so as the rounds, we got through the rounds and everything else, and the crowds got bigger, the whole excitement of the cup run just took over. I think the semi-final against Birmingham, the first one, there was about 55,000, and it was just fantastic to belong to that team and to be at that time, at the club at that time and everything. It was fantastic.